Hello everyone. This video presents a notable event that happened on each day from the past week in history. On August 3rd, 2023, as with every first Thursday in August, Americans celebrate National IPA Day. If you are not a connoisseur of fine brewed malt beverages, namely beer and ale, you might not be familiar with IPA. IPA is a product of the 1700s when long voyages to and from India were made by unrefrigerated British sailing ships. In order to have their precious brewski stay fresh, brewers, especially George Hodgson, concocted a brew that was bitter, hoppy, and crisp that could survive the long voyages in wooden casks. The brew became known as India Pale Ale and remains with us today as a favorite of many craft and microbreweries. Obviously, the best way to enjoy National IPA Day is to break open a cool one and enjoy the bubbly brew, with or without your favorite food or snack. On August 4th, 1987, the Federal Communications Commission officially removed any obligation of television and radio media to present controversial issues in an even and fair manner when they rescinded the Fairness Doctrine. Much has been made of the blatant cheerleading by mass media for one side or the other in recent years, making so-called news programs more partisan than just information. Calling the media biased and fake news has become an allegation by all sides of every issue anytime the media does not agree with a point of view. The Fairness Doctrine originated with the Federal Communications Commission back in 1949, especially important in light of the existence of only 3 major TV networks and the incredible influence they would have on the public. The doctrine remained fairly popular and was upheld by the Supreme Court in 1969. On August 5th, 1957, the iconic pop music show American Bandstand made its debut, starting a 37-season run of 3,002 episodes and making host Dick Clark a national icon. Despite its impressive record, Bandstand is far from the longest-running TV show, and here we list some of the shows that beat Bandstand. Meet the Press, a Sunday morning talk show since November of 1947, over 3,600 episodes. CBS Evening News daily newscast since May of 1948, well over 16,000 episodes. Music and the Spoken Word, a religious LDS show since October of 1949, 4,800 plus episodes. The Archers, British soap opera since January of 1951, almost 20,000 episodes. What is the greatest TV show of all time? On August 6, 1991, Tim Berners-Lee, a professor with ties to the University of Oxford and MIT, announced his invention, plans for what he called the World Wide Web. The head of a committee that seeks to ever increase the utility and efficacy of the Internet, Berners-Lee is the director of the World Wide Web Consortium. Holding numerous positions in computer, internet, and charitable organizations, Berners-Lee has also been the recipient of many awards and recognition for his contribution to modern society, including being knighted by Queen Elizabeth II in 2004. While Berners-Lee might not be a household name, you can thank him every time you engage in web browsing. Time magazine named him on their list of 100 most important people of the 20th century. As a question for my students and subscribers, who is your favorite computer-oriented pioneer? On August 7, 1978, President Jimmy Carter recognized the toxic waste that had been disposed of negligently into a residential area canal as a federal emergency. The Love Canal neighborhood of Niagara Falls, New York, had been planned in 1890, but only reached a portion of its planned size. The eponymous canal in the neighborhood was used for industrial dumping of various chemical byproducts by the Hooker Chemical Company as well as municipal waste products. By the 1950s, people took notice of the health problems experienced by people in the neighborhood, finally drawing the attention of the president and federal government. In response, Congress passed the Superfund law to address environmental disasters, and a 21-year cleanup effort ensued. About 21,800 tons of chemicals had been deposited, creating an enormous need for cleanup. On August 8, 2004, Chicago's Little Lady, a tour boat carrying 120 passengers, was bombed by a tour bus belonging to the Dave Matthews Band. About two-thirds of the passengers were soaked with human waste dumped from the bus as it crossed the Kinzie Street Bridge over the Chicago River in Chicago, Illinois. Only the driver was aboard the bus, and he decided to dump the waste from the toilets into the Chicago River as he crossed the bridge made of open metal grates, and the driver claims he had no idea the boat was beneath the bus when the waste was let go. With passengers soaked in human waste, the boat went right back to the dock. Despite denials, an investigation identified the driver, who was convicted of reckless conduct and discharging contaminants to cause water pollution. The band issued an apology and paid over $300,000. On August 9, 2012, Shannon Easton became the first woman to referee an NFL football game. Like many professional football officials, she started out as a referee in high school and then college football games. Easton got her big break when the NFL and the referee union had contract troubles and the regular refs were locked out in 2012. Some sports writers and the NFL Referees Association objected to her employment by the NFL, especially since she had participated in the World Series of Poker, and pro sports are highly sensitive to anyone with ties or history with gambling. Far from a single sport woman, Easton is also the holder of 6 national championships in judo and has a company that trains football and basketball referees. The NFL, that bastion of masculinity, now can boast of 3 female referees, 15 female coaches, and 319 women working in the league office. As a question for my students and subscribers, which event from this past week in history would you most like to learn more about? Please let me know in the comment section below this video. If you liked this video and would like to receive notification of new videos, please feel welcome to subscribe to History and Headlines and become one of our patrons. Your viewership is much appreciated. For image, audio, and other credits and attributions for components of the individual videos in this compilation, please see the descriptions of their respective videos, which are linked to in this video's description.